A lot of expectation amongst the fans because of that 3-1 lead. Will that alter the approach at all? Has it changed your thinking at all?
No, we're going really with the same side, for instance, that played out there. Delighted that Valgaeren and Mjallby have declared themselves fit. Same side, all but Bobby Petta. I say all but Bobby Petta, who was magnificent for us. So Stevie Guppy comes in that. So in effect, it's the same sort of lineup. Larsson goes to partner Chris Sutton at centre forward, the two of them, and we're going for it. Stilly and Petrov, delighted, actually gets onto the bench tonight, and and that's a major comeback for him. But it's not about Petrov tonight. The game's about us trying to win.
But having Valgaeren and Mjallby fit and ready to play, that's a huge boost for you.
It's a big boost, and I'll see how long they last in the game. But they want to play. They're looking forward to the game, and I'm delighted to have them in the team.
There's no way the players feel that this tie is done, do they?
Oh, not at all. Absolutely not. I mean, we can still get beaten tonight. We could go out, but it won't be through complacency.
Thank you, Martin. Good luck.
Thank you.
For Celtic, those glory nights in European competition have become a distant memory, but all that might be about to change. 90 minutes away from the Champions League. Celtic couldn't have hoped to have taken a bigger advantage from the first leg in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago, and on the back too of a top-notch performance. Can they finish the job professionally and with a little bit of style tonight? That would certainly be the object of the exercise, and Martin O'Neill downstairs from here will be drumming that thought into the players' heads. And some famous faces from Celtic's past in the crowd watching. That was Tommy Burns, and there's another Tommy Boyd, who will lead Celtic out shortly into what should be an incredible atmosphere, and the Celtic fans preparing, Eric, for party time.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They haven't come here to see Celtic go out the Champions League, that's for sure, Rob. It's a wonderful evening, a lovely summer evening, and the crowd's filling up nicely, and really anticipating a very entertaining match tonight.
And the Celtic supporters will be coming into the ground and finding out that Johan Mjallby will be in his usual place. He was injured at Livingston at the weekend, and it looked as if he might miss out on this one, but the big man is nothing if not courageous, and there was no way he wanted to miss this one if he could possibly avoid it. So he's in. Jos Valgaeren returns as well, and that's a huge boost for Celtic. It means they will be able to start with the same backline as performed so heroically in Amsterdam a fortnight ago. There's Steve Guppy just walking through the picture. He made his first start in domestic football for Celtic at the weekend, and now for Guppy tonight it's a first taste of European football with Celtic. And you may have watched some of the replacements going through the frame there as well, including Stilly and Petrov with that horrific leg break in March, and there's a big welcome for him, as there is for the entire Celtic squad. And these Ajax supporters hoping tonight for something of a miracle. It's not just they lost heavily 2 weeks ago, but they were blown out of sight by Celtic, and here is that Celtic formation. Mjallby and Valgaeren in their usual places, Guppy for Petta.
Yeah, it's just the straight swap from Guppy. A real boost for Celtic getting Mjallby and Valgaeren both fit, which obviously allows them to play Sutton further forward. He might have to have dropped back, but it's a very solid Celtic team and a very experienced Celtic team.
Well, I wonder who was your man of the match in Amsterdam a fortnight ago. Didier Agathe would get some votes, Bobby Petta got some votes as well, but Chris Sutton was simply outstanding. One goal this season, but it was that third goal in Amsterdam that has put Celtic in a very strong position. He played in defence in the last couple of games, but not much doubt that Martin O'Neill wanted Sutton back up front for Celtic tonight. Now here's the Ajax formation. We gave you the 1 to 11, if that be the appropriate phrase, earlier on. But this is a fairly major reshuffle, Eric.
Oh, it certainly is. They've had to bring in two central defenders in Vierklau and Bergdolmo. They brought in the Brazilian Maxwell in the wide left area. Trabelsi will play further out on the right hand side, and they brought in Wamberto, who's a Brazilian forward as well. So it's certainly a makeshift team, and we'll just have to see whether they go with their traditional style or they alter it.
Here's the man whose goal at the time in Amsterdam looked as if it had given an injection of hope to Ajax. Shota Arveladze, the Georgian international, very experienced player and a prolific goal scorer too. Look at that, 72 goals in 123 appearances He did partner Michael Laudrup in a previous life, and now he's up front alongside Nikos Maklas, the Greek international. The referee tonight is Italian, and it's that man there, Stefano Braschi. As You'll Never Walk Alone rings around the ground, and these supporters hoping they'll get the opportunity for another 6 sing-songs in Europe before the season is over, and who knows how far Celtic can go in this competition as things progress and develop under Martin O'Neill.
Oh, no doubt about it, Rob. It's going from strength to strength. We had a wonderful atmosphere in Amsterdam the other day, but this is absolutely sensational tonight, and even the Ajax supporters will be mesmerised with what's happening around them at Celtic Park tonight. It's a wonderful scene.
The Champions League is the carrot dangling in front of Celtic tonight. Can they snap it up? They certainly hope so, having laid those firm foundations of that 3-1 victory a fortnight ago. Brought to you by BBC Scotland, and we're here tonight alongside Martin O'Neill and everyone else for the return match. Just listen to that roar. And Yakubu of Ajax was seemingly stunned there for a split second with that wall of sound and lost possession. Trabelsi's pass. A long, hopeful ball, watched all the way by Rob Douglas. Douglas, who made some key saves in the first match. Maybe some question of his use of his right hand at the goal, but on top of that, I think he made a lot of fine stops.
No, he certainly did, and he seems to be coming on stronger and stronger now, Rob Douglas. He's been excellent last season, 1 or 2 hiccups, but with a bit of good coaching from Tenny General at Celtic, I'm sure he'll come on to be a very good goalkeeper.
That's Bergdolmo, the Norwegian. That's Didier Agathe, rested at the weekend against Livingston, and it's back to business for him, and a shuddering challenge which gives Celtic a free kick given against Maxwell, the Brazilian. Steve Guppy is the man over the ball, and Celtic can throw forward Mjallby and Valgaeren to the edge of the penalty box. We saw some good deliveries from Guppy at Livingston at the weekend, and that's Mjallby's head, and Valgaeren not far away from it. And already the warning goes out to Ajax that with these set pieces Celtic are dangerous.
Oh, no doubt about it. He wasn't picked up at all here, Mjallby. A free header. I think he actually expects a challenge, and that must be a real concern to Ajax. Plenty of time. He goes up slightly too early. Doesn't get any power in the ball at all, but that must be concerning.
Yeah, no great physical test there against Mjallby at all. That was pretty much a free header, and that might just have brought about the opening goal. Didier Agathe, he was absolutely superb in the first leg and showing every sign of a repeat dose tonight. It was strong, it was powerful, it was direct, it was positive, and Celtic have their first corner kick.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Didier Agathe, it's his first touch really, but he's just lifted his head. He knows where he's going, and he's gone directly for the touchline, and he's won a corner, and this must be a problem for Ajax again.
It's the left foot of Steve Guppy, lofted in invitingly for the head of Henrik Larsson, couldn't quite steer it down, and the great man looks upon these as chances.
Oh, what's unbelievable here, Rob, is that they don't put any men out. There's 2 Celtic players out there. Another great delivery from Guppy, and Larsson a free header again. Here it is again. They don't put anybody out. Nice in-swinging cross, and Larsson gets underneath it.
That was the head of Mjallby, and flopped away by Jackie McNamara. Chivu. Good play from Lambert, determination in the middle. Now Maxwell, the 20-year-old Brazilian. That's Yakubu. Celtic defending strongly. Vaart, the 18-year-old. Really a top prospect he is. Nikos Maklas, the Greek international, with the ball in his hands. Vaart again, Yakubu alongside. Wamberto. Trabelsi it is on the outside. Did well to get to the byline, didn't get much on the cutback, and it was fairly comfortably cut out. Here's Sutton. He's a handful. Free kick. Ajax hoping they can cope with him a little bit better than they did in the first leg. Vierklau is on the bench in Amsterdam, now in the starting lineup. Not much choice for Adrians, he's had to make changes because of injuries. Two broken bones in his first team squad, Cruz and Passana, both ruled out, adding to his problems. That's Lennon, and that was a late one from Wamberto, left the boot in.
Yeah, here we see again. Well, he's keen to get forward. He's a wee bit late there. There's no real malice. I don't think he was going to hurt him. And Lennon's cleverly just lifted his leg and he's played the ball. But he looks as if he could be a key for Ajax tonight. The three of them will probably move around, the two strikers and Wamberto.
Guppy's cross, Sutton's header. That's Larsson. Spectacular clearance by Yakubu. Back goes Avaladze. Might be playing himself into trouble. Yakubu's clearance. Back from Boyd. No attacking threat so far from Ajax. Lambert steers a header down. And the central midfield partner Lennon catches it back. Tom Boyd. For his first team football of the season in Amsterdam and looked like he'd never been away. Chivu. That's good play from the Romanian national skipper. Looking for a free kick, and he's got it. That was the most positive thing we've seen so far from Ajax.
Oh, it's a wonderful break forward from Chivu, showing all his class there, breaking forward from the back. And he looks as if he could be a real key as well.
Avaladze slices his shot well wide of target. And his suntan's looking pretty good, but he's under a fair bit of pressure as co-Adrians. Ajax expect better, although I suppose in the last few seasons expectations have dipped as Ajax have ceased to be the top team in Holland, and their European glory days are at the moment well behind them. That wasn't the most convincing bit of defending from Norwegian Andre Bergdolmo, the former Rosenborg player, 32 times capped by Norway, but he was shut down very quickly by Agathe.
Yeah, he was. Great hunger again for Agathe to go and pressure the ball, and Bergdolmo didn't look that comfortable. He's naturally a left back and he's been asked to go and play left centre back tonight, but he's an experienced player, so I'm sure he'll find his bearings.
Chivu to Trabelsi. That's a late one from Valgaeren and a free kick to Ajax. Well, nights like tonight bring back memories of Lisbon Lions, and there's one in the middle of your picture. Tommy Gemmell, one of the greats. Christian Chivu. Bergdolmo. Avaladze looking for a short pass. Now he gets it. Van der Vaart misses out. Larsson just a bit too heavy with the toe poke there towards Sutton. And it slid away from his strike partner. The news of Rangers is not good tonight. They are one down in Turkey to Fenerbahce. Although what you have to bear in mind is a 1-1 draw would get Rangers through. Here it's 3-1 overall, no goals on the night. And that's off Lambert. And the first corner kick of the night for Ajax. And 1-0 is a half-time score in Istanbul. Fenerbahce 1, Rangers 0. Celtic with a corner kick to defend, which they do very comfortably. an easy take for Rob Douglas, but the whistle had already gone.
Yeah, it's a reasonable delivery. It's into an area, but big Rob Douglas, that'll give him a lot of confidence. Come out, maybe dropped it a wee bit. Sorry, I thought I'd actually taken it. He'll be slightly uncomfortable with that one. Here it comes in again. Fortunately, it's a bit of pushing at the front post, but hopefully it'll come from that.
I think Big Rob was just trying to create a wee bit of drama there by juggling it a few times, but the whistle had already gone. Sutton wrestling to win possession. Larsson caught in two minds there. I think that was intended for Jackie McNamara, who made a good run into the box, but it was played too far ahead of him.
Yeah, he's sharp as ever, Larsson. Straight onto it again, slightly disorganised at the back. A nicely weighted pass across the face could have had McNamara with his first chance of the evening.
Ajax trying to find some poise, find some composure. The young Brazilian, Maxwell. Vierklau does well. Laid off by Maklas. But Celtic winning the ball in the midfield areas. Coming out on top in those 50-50 challenges, which are so important. And there's a man who doesn't shirk a challenge. And that's what's demanded by Martin O'Neill, the work ethic. He's put in the minds of his players and he wants them to compete for everything. Tom Boyd's free kick aimed at Chris Sutton, away by Chivu. Lambert, a hand was used. That was Avaladze, free kick, and a chance for Celtic to get the big boys forward again.
Yeah, it'll give them another opportunity. Here again, the ball breaks. It's Sutton's presence yet again in the air. Lambert cleverly tried to lift it over, and it's a clear handball in a difficult situation for Ajax to defend. Very similar to the first one with Mjallby, so let's see how they deal with this.
In from Guppy. There's Mjallby, and there's Grimm.
Yeah, same thing again, identical. Mjallby's managed to get his head a wee bit more presence round about him to try and stop him this time, but it's a real threat in the Ajax box.
Fred Grimm will have been a whole lot happier with his handling there than he was after 7 minutes in Amsterdam when he palmed the ball into the path of Bobby Petta, and that was the beginning of the end for Ajax, really. Things were never the same again for them. Van der Vaart, laid off by Maklas, in the way is Lennon. Agathe, late challenge by Maxwell, but he gets away with it. Trabelsi, the one made by Wamberto, but that pass always looked a little hope of finding its way through. Boyd, two Ajax players around him, stayed very calm. Mjallby, Sutton, he's having his shirt pulled by Bergdolmo, bundled over as well. And better players than Bergdolmo, I think, have tried to get a grip of Chris Sutton.
Yeah, it takes a very, very strong, powerful player to match Chris Sutton. He really has a real physical challenge, and again, he's playing back to goal there. He's quite happy to present himself for Mjallby to link to try and get the ball further forward the pitch.
Boyd's free kick, again Sutton the target. Guppy, back for McNamara. Steve Guppy again, trying to find himself some room. Does find Lambert. Lennon supporting, linking the play together. Valgaeren, McNamara trying to escape the clutches of Yakubu. Wamberto, the little Brazilian. Van der Vaart, played first time by Maxwell, gets it back and then immediately gives it away. Lambert and Lennon already with a stranglehold in central midfield. It's a wayward pass though from Mjallby. Wamberto, Maklas. Valgaeren strongly into the challenge. Van der Vaart changes the direction of the play. It's a good run. Mjallby's clearance. Van der Vaart again for Maxwell, just turned 20. Lambert, Larsson. Settles for the throw of Chivu. But the menace is clear from Larsson in everything he does. And Ajax know all about it. Didn't score in the first leg, which is unusual when Celtic score 3 times. But he more than played his part. Tireless in his industry. Guppy fulfilling for Celtic the role they expect Bobby Petrov to play when he's in the side. Turned out of play by Vierklau. Didn't hear a shout from his goalkeeper. Wasn't clear on what was happening in behind him. Sutton was waiting. Chivu didn't. Fired back in by Guppy. That's a nice touch from Miklas. And now Arveladze. On the outside of Mjallby, he's away from him. Vaart robbing Agathe of possession. Maxwell, good run. Vaart, shot down by Mjallby. Good interception by Agathe. Now Larsson. Tough nut to crack, Larsson. So strong, so skillful. And that's an atrocious challenge by Yakubu. It was late, it was high, it was dreadful. And he's in trouble surely here.
Oh, he must be in trouble after that one. He's absolutely half Larsson in two there. Larsson was in full flight, as we see here, moves the ball to the side, and he's caught him just above the knee.
There's always an awful lot of concern when Henrik Larsson is involved in one of those sort of challenges because of that leg break. Never a chance that was going to lead to anything too serious, but that was a reckless one from Yakubu, and that's a yellow card against his name already. Paul Lambert's delivery. Out comes Fred Grimm. Punched away. Guppy has it. McNamara. Mjallby was going for that, and he cannoned off Bergdolmo as he tried to get on the end of the cross.
Yeah, again, reasonable defending from Bergdolmo. He just stands his ground here and doesn't allow Mjallby to jump. But again, it's a real threat from Celtic from delivery. He's not.
Yakubu's pass up to Arveladze, but getting very little change through the middle against the Celtic defence. What encouragement for Ajax must have been that turn of pace from Arveladze, which was giving Mjallby some trouble.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lovely phase of play there earlier, Robin. It's interesting with Arveladze, who's prepared to come deep. Wamberto's prepared to come deep and move from central areas into wider areas again, and Miklas is really the point of the attack.
There went Wamberto again, but Neil Lennon matched him. That's Tom Boyd's. That's well won by Jackie McNamara against Trabelsi. A well-judged challenge. Celtic want to keep possession. Agathe has it. Mjallby playing with some strapping on his injured ankle. Larsson moving freely after that hefty challenge. Vierklau, 2 caps for Holland in his time, the defender. Now Chivu. Useful pass, Vaart. He was allowed a little bit of room there, out wide, and is ball into the box, blocked by Mjallby.
Yeah, Mjallby again, they're managing to get across to avert any danger. But it's been a good phase of play recently for Ajax. They're starting to get a hold of the ball in midfield, and here they have another corner in a dangerous area.
Maxwell having a look. He left it in, but it's beyond Nikos Miklas. Celtic quite happy with that ball into the box. No challenge with their defending that one. Lennon and slow it down. No need for Celtic to chase the game tonight. They have the advantage and they want to keep control. It's Lambert. Even after 19 minutes, he's covered an incredible amount of ground. The live match from BBC Scotland, Celtic 0, Ajax 0. The all-important aggregate is underneath, 3-1, they're in front. If you've just joined us, Rangers 1 down in Istanbul against Fenerbahce. Yakubu's layoff, not all it might have been. I don't think Trabelsi was charmed with the quality of the pass. Vierklau, Wamberto, trying to thread a pass through from Maxwell. He's after it himself. Wamberto, saved by Robert Douglas. That could be very important. The goalkeeper flung himself in the way of that shot and diverted it round the post.
Oh, talking critical save here, Roberts. Wonderful touch from Maxwell to put him through, and Rob Douglas does ever so well to get a touch on it. Oh, what a fright that was for Celtic.
Van der Vaart gets it back from Arveladze. And Chris Sutton left with no great alternative than to tuck that one round the corner for another corner kick. Celtic happy to have survived this, Eric.
Yeah, here we see again, just comes off Lambert, he's through, he knows what he's going to do, he tries to side foot it under him, and that's good goalkeeping from Rob Douglas.
Wamberto's corner kick. Chris Sutton at the far post. Bergdolmo was there as well. Forced out by Tom Boyd. Martin O'Neill will have watched that with a fair bit of anxiety, and as Wamberto sprinted into the box, Eric, was his run matched? I don't think so.
Well, he's come from deeper, he's played the 1-2 and everybody's turned to face the ball, Rob, so they've lost him, and he's seen he's anticipated the ball really well. He's quickly onto it through the defence, and he knows exactly what he's going to do, and it really is a top save from Rob Douglas.
That might have made this game very interesting. Maklas, header on target, but it didn't carry much behind it, and that was a fairly comfortable save for Rob Douglas.
Yeah, again though, it just shows you they're really sharp. It's a reasonable ball into the box, not a lot of power in it. Maklas does very well to get in front of the defender here as it comes in. It's just lobbed in casually. He gets in front of Mjallby but doesn't manage to get much power on it, and it's very comfortable save in the end for Rob Douglas. But it's certainly a sign that Ajax are not here just for the evening out.
Maklas won the Golden Boot 3 years ago, so he's got a strong scoring pedigree. And of course Henrik Larsson will pick up the Golden Shoe Award tomorrow in Monaco. That's a useful pass. Arveladze, what a challenge that was from Tom Boyd. 5 stars for that one. Beautiful timing.
Wonderful tackle from Tommy Boyd. He anticipates the pass. It's a lovely pass through. It's a great run from Arveladze, but the experienced Tommy Boyd is there at the vital moment.
Maxwell to Van der Vaart. Celtic under a little bit of pressure. Ajax want to make it pay. Vierklau off Valgaeren. Back to Douglas. That's for Henrik Larsson. Didn't quite get that under control as he would have liked. Van der Vaart. Arveladze, danger man. Yakubu, the teenager Van der Vaart again. Probably the best prospect in Holland at the moment, Van der Vaart. That's the Georgian Arveladze. Trabelsi, Wamberto, good movement. But that's a poor cross at the end of it. It's not really a threat to Celtic. But Co-Adrians will be encouraged with the last 5 or 6 minutes of play at it.
No doubt about it, Rob. They've done exceptionally well. Celtic are having problems at this moment in time. Arveladze's coming deep into areas. Wamberto's sometimes going forward, and they're not sure whether to pick him up again just before the Arveladze's sitting in an awful lot of space, waiting for the ball to be played at them. The 3 centre-backs have sat off him, and they're really struggling to get close to their movement and their passing in midfield at the moment, and they're dominating the game, Ajax.
That's Neil Lennon, a chase for Henrik Larsson. Back goes Chivu, it's an awkward bouncing ball. Out comes Fred Grimm. Took charge there. Plenty of experience behind him. 35-year-old goalkeeper, 7 years with Ajax. urgency about Ajax, as there should be. They still have to believe that they can make the Champions League. But apart from that, they want to win back some pride. A lot of that was lost in Amsterdam a fortnight back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've certainly started well. There's a real hunger about them. Their movement's good, their passing's excellent, and they're causing Celtic problems at the moment.
And that demonstrates their determination and their fire to win possession in the midfield. When Paul Lambert is robbed of possession, you know that the opposition are doing something right. The left foot of Rafael van der Vaart alongside him. Nikos Maklas switched from left side to right side, and Trabelsi against Guppy. That's a free kick.
Yeah, he's a very powerful fullback, is Trabelsi. Really keen to get forward. Only a young player, but a real one for the future.
Christian Chivu, we've seen him wandering forward earlier on in the match to some effect with that run from halfway. Bergdolmo picking out Yakubu at the pass. Celtic closing things down though in the midfield. Bergdolmo away by Mjallby. Larsson's after it. Vierklau want to get that back pass right. Andre Bergdolmo looking for some options up ahead of him. One of them was Avranadze. Van der Vaart. Yakubu trying to measure that pass into the stride of Maklas. Didn't quite come off. Ajax try again. Shot at Avranadze. Pass deflected. It was intended for Trabelsi. Played away by Valgaeren. Gets it back from Larsson. Yes, Valgaeren over halfway. Stopped by Chivu. Mjallby to Lambert. Now it's McNamara. Celtic want to start threatening again. Larsson with Vierklau at his back. And it's off Trabelsi. Celtic throw. Comfortably past the midway stage in this first half. No goals at Celtic Park. 3-1 overall. McNamara. Intended for Sutton, headed away by Van der Vaart. Avranadze. And again. Yakubu for Maklas. Well, that was a little bit balletic, the fall there, a little bit theatrical, but there certainly was contact from Valgaeren.
Yeah, he just rides the challenge. He just catches the inside of his boot, and good experienced striker that he is, he goes down very quickly and ensures that Ajax can move further up the field and keep possession of the ball.
That's a 5.9 if ever I saw one. And he did get the free kick. Bergdolmo and Chivu. Age 20, he's the captain of the Romanian national team. He was given a hard time though, left back by Didier Agathe 2 weeks back. Playing the central role in defence tonight. Van der Vaart. Wide for Trabelsi. Wamberto. Low centre of gravity, good close control, difficult to tie down, as Celtic are finding. Yakubu. That was Maklas. Wamberto again trying to set that one up for Van der Vaart. Breakdown in communication. Larsson in pursuit. That's well dealt with by Bergdolmo. Chivu. Wamberto. That was Lennon. That was Mjallby. And that was high from the little Brazilian. Free kick. And he better not mess with Johan.
Yeah, here again, really hungry to get forward. It's a first touch that brings the ball high. I don't think there's any malice in that. He's only trying to win the ball, but certainly it's a free kick, and it maybe just gives Celtic a wee bit of time now to try and get a hold of the ball.
Maybe he should get an award for getting his boot that high, but Martin O'Neill will be reasonably happy with the way things have gone for 29 minutes. That's Valgaeren. That's Lambert. Yakubu with a miss-hit, but it runs for Wamberto. He's off again. Moravcik. Wamberto. Here's a chance for Ajax to open the scoring. He's got it this time. Wamberto. Ajax 1 up. It's 3-2 overall, and it could be game on.
What a fantastic goal. Lovely 1-2. Real pace to get by. Lifts his head. Composure across the goalkeeper, and it finishes in the back of the net. Wonderful finish. Lovely back heel from Averladze. Only one thing in his mind. He cuts across here. Valgaeren could have been a penalty. Oh, and a lovely finish.
Top class finishing this, and he started the move from the midfield, and he was there to apply the killer touch. The Brazilian youth international, formerly with Standard Liège, and he's showing tonight he's a player of real quality. 3-2 the tie is now. Celtic with some questions to answer. That now makes this very interesting.
Oh, it certainly does. We spoke about Wamberto at the start of the match, that he could be a key player, and he certainly hasn't let us down. He's been a real star tonight, along with Averladze, who I think has been absolutely excellent. Van der Vaart, top quality player, and Chivu obviously.
Quadrians has seen his team then pull a goal back. It seemed like mission impossible at the outset. But now there's 1 goal in it overall, or you would have to, at this stage, of course, realise the importance of Celtic's goal away from home in the first leg. 3-0 Ajax need to get through. 3-1 would take it to extra time. Celtic don't really want to mull over those statistics at the moment. They want to scrap their way back into the game, get control, get a hold in the midfield, and start creating chances of their own. Back to Maxwell. Good first time delivery into the box. Headers from Valgaeren and Lambert. Now Larsson. Held that up well for Guppy. But the pass goes astray. That plays Celtic back into trouble. Van der Vaart. Averladze. Good effort. Beaten away by Robert Douglas. Solidly behind it. He had to be. And these are worrying moments for Celtic. Back in from Maxwell. Away by Steve Guppy. Only as far as Yakubu. Ajax want to keep the pressure on. That was Tom Boyd. It's been a great spell for Ajax, and they'll feel that they've played their way right back into this tie. It's been fast, it's been frantic. Here goes Bergdolmo, hustled out of it by Sutton. Lambert to Larsson. Chivu wins it, but it falls for McNamara. Now Steve Guppy. The roar going around Celtic Park. Wanted Guppy to get forward, get in behind and supply some ammunition for Larsson and Sutton. But Rob Douglas again called into action here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a wonderful phase, a great strike across. Very difficult to score from there, but he's hit it so sweetly. But Rob Douglas is up to it, and he's parried it well away from the danger area.
So, a real test now for Martin O'Neill's team. Can they respond to that Ajax opener at Celtic Park? Although you still have to bear in mind the advantage which his team has. Neil Lennon's a key man now for Celtic. He and Lambert have to get a hold again in the midfield and get that stranglehold for Celtic. Agathe against Maxwell. Corner kick is the outcome. Maxwell managed to stay with Agathe, but it was at the expense of a corner kick. Just Valgaeren at the near post. Johan Mjallby is at the far post. Henrik Larsson in the middle. Chris Sutton just inside the 18-yard box. In from Steve Guppy. Here comes Glenn. McNamara on the half volley. Off the head of Vierklau. Didn't know much about it. There's a gap. Larsson's way off. The right foot of Guppy this time. In got Sutton. Header blocked. Forced away by Ajax. And now Vaart on the counter-attack. Wamberto to his right. Pass won't make it. Neil Lennon, Jackie McNamara. A little bit of uncertainty about Celtic at the moment. And that's not at all certain in the way of a clearance from Rob Douglas. Maxwell. Wamberto. The man who's brought this tie back to life. Here he is again. Slice well wide this time. After that chance at the other end for Chris Sutton.
Yeah, again, this is where Celtic really I think Celtic will capitalise tonight. Every time the ball goes into the box, you feel Celtic are going to get an effort on goal. This one they managed to clear, but good ball in by Steve Guppy. There's two or three. There's Sutton just gets behind Mjallby, gets it on target. It's well cleared, but they're a real threat every time the ball comes into the box.
It was a good, powerful downward header from Sutton, and it was blocked by Christian Chivu in the 6-yard box before it got as far as Fred Grimm. But Celtic need to be getting more ball into the box because they must think goals will come. But at the moment, the worry is that another goal might come for Ajax. And Neil Lennon, just for the moment, struggling to regain composure in the middle. Celtic need it badly. Not much more than 9 minutes left in the first half. And a dramatic first half it's becoming. McNamara winning the header against Wamberto. Vierklau hesitated, Larsson was in. And that's a late one from Yakubu. And a free kick given in Jackie McNamara's favour.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's going to clear this. It's just badly timed and badly mistimed altogether there, and McNamara's taken a sore one on his shin, but he's up again and he's looking to get back into the game as quickly as possible.
I think that was one of those ones from Yakubu. I'll get there as quickly as I can.
Slightly later than he had thought, but still, McNamara was still in position, so at least he made contact with something.
The head of Valgaeren. No one there for Celtic, cleared by Vierklau. Good control from Guppy. Lennon. Looking for Sutton, not enough on the pass. Yakubu was in the way, and an attempt from Wamberto winning a free kick, which didn't fool the referee. But now the pace of Arveladze is again a threat for Celtic. Stretching out was Jos Valgaeren. They've got lots of attacking options of Ajax. They've shown that so far. Wamberto. Class, good challenge from Boyd. Still no possession with the Dutch team. Maxwell, and he's there for the return. Agathe didn't go with the run from Maxwell, and he was almost giving it back via Maklas. Free kick given, or a little nudge by Bergdolmo. 1-0 Ajax, Wamberto the scorer. 3-2 Celtic over the piece. In from Boyd. Sutton waiting. Bergdolmo unconvincing with the clearance. Now Lambert. Celtic looking to create. Valgaeren. For Sutton again. Steve Guppy. Now Lennon and Guppy again. Good movement from Guppy, offering Lennon the alternative pass. Maklas closing down Boyd and forcing the back pass. Chivu won the header. Lambert. Trabelsi. looking unsure of himself before hooking it away. That's Wamberto, and that's neat to his fellow Brazilian, Maxwell. Van der Vaart spinning away from Agathe. Chivu. 6 minutes from the half-time whistle, plus any stoppage time to be added. Valgaeren's header drops down for Van der Vaart. Such a busy player in the midfield and with a sublime touch. Trabelsi against Guppy, inside then outside. It's a good run. He's beyond Guppy, useful. Headed away by Boyd, and thankfully for Celtic that was on the right foot of Van der Vaart. He can be lethal on the other side, and that was well away from target.
Yeah, great work in the wide area here, lovely ball in, and he really must be so disappointed that none of the strikers have made the front post run or even a run into the 6-yard box, because it's easily defended in the end, but a real threatening ball from the wider area.
Adrian's mulling things over, and he'll be happy with stage 1 of the recovery mission, and he'll be hoping that his team can embark on stage 2. Arveladze's touch for Bergdolmo. Back comes Agathe.
Yeah, Celtic's system, Rob, relies heavily on the wider players getting the ball slightly further forward. At this moment in time, Ajax are dominating the midfield area, and therefore they're both been actually playing at defensive wing-backs at the moment, Guppy and Agathe, and they really aren't getting forward and getting any threat in that area. So it's all control at the moment, passing them to death at this moment in time, Ajax.
Larsson the target. It's won by Vierklau. Trabelsi. Wamberto. Bergdolmo. Mjallby's header away. That was Maxwell. And you get the feeling that Celtic would settle for this at the moment into the home dressing room at half-time and start all over again.
Yeah, I think so. If they get to half-time 1-0, then that'll take the sting out of the game. Ajax are in full flow at the moment. They've got the goal that they wanted so badly. They've had threatened once or twice actually to make that 2. And now Celtic really just want to see this first half over, regroup at half-time. I'm sure Martin will have 1 or 2 things to say, and come back out and ready to attack the second half.
And I wonder if there's another twist in this first half tale to come in these closing minutes. 3.5 to go of the first 45. An inviting little set piece for Celtic. Mjallby up alongside Chris Sutton, just inside the penalty box. And what this needs is a good delivery from Steve Guppy. Tempting, headed away by Chivu. Lambert. Not one of his better efforts. Started the season with something of a goal glut for him, but he really wanted to steer this one down.
Yeah, another good ball in, good delivery, good clearance this time, good defensive header from Chivu. Lambert's having to come all the way around to get on his right foot, and that's what makes it slightly difficult. So at least he was there to have the attempt, but he'll be unhappy with where it's ended.
Wamberto to Maxwell. At the moment, both halves of the Old Firm trailing, and Rangers now 2-0 down in Istanbul. Fenerbahce 2, Rangers 0, and it's now looking very, very difficult in terms of Rangers' survival hopes. And it may be that Rangers drop into the UEFA Cup, and that, by their standards, will be a big disappointment. Agathe winning some applause for some tenacious play. That's a wild one from Van der Vaart, and immediately a yellow card. There were some tasty tackles flying in the midfield, but that was one too many for the Italian ref. It was rash, and it could have hurt Paul Lambert.
Yeah, he's very frustrated there. Van der Vaart, I think, believes he was fouled prior to that. Actually turned out of 2 tackles, but it's a bad lunge, and he certainly deserves a yellow card for that.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to say to the referee there, Stefano Braschi, that he'd been infringed against before his one, but there's no real defence for flying in with the studs showing like that.
No defence whatsoever. Again, it's just a young player. He's frustrated. He thought he'd actually got away from both Lennon and I think it was Mjallby who was in there, and it's come across. But he's a top player, there's no doubt about it. He's a wonderful football player. Oh, he's a wonderful football player. He really looks as if he's been to 5 World Cups and 3 Champions Leagues, and he's only 18.
Maybe watching. Mjallby's header. Lambert's okay. Now with Boyd. So Rangers 2 down, Celtic 1 down, but the all-important difference, of course, is the first leg scoreline, which still gives Celtic that 1-goal advantage overall. Maxwell's head. Van der Vaart prods it towards Matlas. Boyd does well. 30 seconds left of regulation time before the turnaround, and Martin O'Neill, I'm sure, will be looking forward to the opportunity to speak to his players and to get things sorted out for the second half and to try to re-establish the upper hand which they've lost. Wamberto. Matlas. Disappointing pass. Trabelsi has it though. Took a deflection, and that is the last action of the first half. Celtic 1 down on the night. That wasn't on the script, and Wamberto scored a very impressive goal to drag Ajax back into this tie.
Yeah,
he started the move, Eric, didn't he? And he was on the end of it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful run. He's played a lovely 1-2, lovely back heel from Aberladze. But watch the composure here. He lifts his head, gets across, has a lift, lovely composed finish, top corner, and he's really deserved that because he's been outstanding in the first half and has posed Celtic no end of problems in the midfield area.
How worried are you for Celtic at this stage?
No, I think going in 1-0 down should be a problem. They'll regroup, they'll hopefully get themselves sorted out. I'm sure Martin O'Neill will have 1 or 2 things to say, but I've been concerned. Ajax have kept the ball for long periods. Celtic have struggled. They've really been trying to go back to front, and that's not their game.
The tie has come alive again. Not sure that these supporters wanted it. They certainly didn't. It's 1-0 at half-time and 3-2 overall. Game of 2 halves is a cliche we're well used to. Maybe this is a tie of 2 legs, the way it's shaped up so far. Craig used the phrase, Celtic have got to assert themselves during the half-time interval, and maybe that's exactly the right way to put it, Eric.
Yeah, they have to, Rob. But the real problem with the movement in midfield, it's something that they don't experience in British football, is that type of movement with Wamberto being able to go forward, drop into areas. He's been all over the place, and that's something that you never face normally in British football, so they have to come to terms with that very quickly. Otherwise, Ajax are possibly going to get another goal, and then we've got a real tie in our hands.
Well, it would have been good to have been a fly on the wall of that Celtic home dressing room during the interval and hear exactly what Martin O'Neill had to say. He was most impressed with what he saw in Amsterdam, but less so, I would imagine, by what happened in that first half. Celtic started pretty well for the first 5 or so minutes and then proceeded to be allowed to be passed off the park by Ajax, and it's Ajax on the ascendancy as the first half ended, and Celtic will want to reverse that trend as the second half gets underway. Van der Vaart, key player for them in central midfield, just as much as this man, Wamberto. He's been difficult to pick up for Celtic in the first half, and I want to put that right. Aberladze. Great control, change of direction. And now Wamberto moving at pace towards the Celtic penalty box, stopped by Agathe. Nothing wrong with the support tonight, that's for sure. And if this can be reflected in on-field matters, then Celtic will be back in business. Sutton and Larsson closely marked. The Swede against the Norwegian, Larsson against Bergdolmo. Doesn't like giving the ball away, Henrik Larsson. Arveladze, Lennon with him. Kept possession well there. Yakubu, central defence in the first game, central midfield tonight. And chasing his pass, Rafael van der Vaart, challenged by Agathe. Wamberto. Yakubu lining up the shot and struck it well. Straight at Rob Douglas, but good technique here.
Oh, no doubt about it. Wonderful 2-3 passes. It's straight down Rob Douglas, but he's held it very well. But again, their intention is to go forward. And let's hope that this don't get this second goal.
Fred Graham, apart from the opening exchanges, pretty much untroubled in the first half, and he was a very busy man in Amsterdam. Larsson, Chivu in very smartly to turn the ball away. And as Messos, McCarthy and Brown were saying at half-time, Celtic want to work the ball onto his right side because he's so strong with that left foot. A neat touch from Arveladze to Maklas. Now Trabelsi. And out of danger for Celtic. But again, it's Ajax who are doing the attacking.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've gone forward again there. Trabelsi, probably in this instance here, he doesn't know whether he's going to have a shot, doesn't know whether he's going to cross it. But again, he's a threat. He's pushing forward. And again, a delivery there that may well have ended in an opportunity for Ajax.
Chris Sutton's head flick. Henrik Larsson. Excellent control. It was well cut out by Yakubu. It was heading for McNamara. Finds its way there now. Loses out in the challenge though to Chivu. Wamberto stumbled and fell, but still kept possession. Vaart. Maxwell to Arveladze. Yakubu. Given away by Vaart under pressure from Larsson, and that's a push on Agathe. Advantage played. Too much on the cross from Larsson. It's away from Sutton. He's doing his best to win it. He was never going to give that up, was Chris Sutton. That's the sort of spirit Celtic have to show. Guppy and McNamara exchange passes. Guppy grounded, looking for a free kick. The claims waved away by referee Brashi. It's this little Brazilian magician again on the ball. He's a joy to watch, but he's a big danger to Celtic. Another Brazilian, Maxwell. Just beyond Nikos Maklas. Vierklau's header falls for McNamara. Offside against Henrik Larsson, and I think the pass was played with a bit too much pace in any case.
Yeah, there was a wee bit too much pace on it from McNamara, but it's good defending here from the Ajax back three. Just he's about to play, yeah, he's up with his hand and it's a clear offside. So it's good defending, but slightly more positive from Celtic.
Trabelsi, the Tunisian, infield to Yakubu. He's from Nigeria. Multinational Ajax side. Maklas. There's the scoreline which tells you Rangers are out of the Champions League It's the UEFA Cup for them now, having lost tonight in Istanbul by 2-1. Rangers in the UEFA Cup draw, Celtic hoping they will take their place in tomorrow's draw in Monaco for the group stages of the Champions League. But there's a lot of work to be done if that is to be the case. .3-2 is still the overall advantage, but it's Ajax who continue to be on the offensive, and if they can get another goal back, that's when things start getting really twitchy.
Yeah, they're dominating possession yet again. They're keeping the ball for long periods. They're very patient with their possession. They wait to the last minute to spring forward. And Celtic now need to keep the ball, need to take the sting out of the game, because Ajax are in full flow, they're confident, they're passing, they're moving, and a very, very impressive tide tonight.
Good interception by Steve Guppy. That's a clear obstruction by Yakubu. Now he's been booked already. That looked fairly blatant to me. No sign of the referee reaching into his pocket, so Yakubu escapes.
Yeah, he's mistimed it again completely, but he's lifted his hands up quite early, which has probably allowed the referee to just let it play on. But he's certainly in dangerous territory. Another one of those, and he could well be off the pitch.
Chris Sutton, the target man. And that's fired away by Bergdolmo. Underneath it, Tom Boyd. McNamara's flick. Good use of his body by Henrik Larsson. And he's won himself a free kick again against Vierklau. It's clever play from Larsson. Knew exactly what he was doing here.
Yeah, he's very clever, Rob, back to goal. He knows all the time where the defenders are, where the space is. Very clever in terms of taking people in areas where he doesn't want them to go and pulling away.
Chris Sutton getting the knockdown, but no takers, and significantly Celtic no interest in putting Mjallby or Valgaeren forward that time.
No, I think they've settled. Certainly it was coming from a deeper area, and maybe they felt that it's a long way to go there, and if you lose possession of the ball, so they've gone for the safer option and keeping them back.
That's one of the few attacking moves from Ajax which has fizzled out quite so quickly. They really have been a potent looking side tonight in their passing and movement and creation of opportunities in and around the penalty box. Lennon's header for Agathe, and Vaart trying to stick with him. It's well played by Agathe. Just waited his moment, he was patient. Valgaeren to Larsson, he's knocked over by Chivu. Appeals for a free kick, rejected. Ajax tried to get forward, Vaart overran it. Wamberto, Vaart. Slick passing from Ajax. Confidence restored in a side which looked shambolic a couple of weeks ago. Made to look that way, of course, by what Celtic had to offer. Vierklau finds Trabelsi, now Yakubu. Lifted over the top, offside against Maxwell. He might need something stronger than that before long. If Ajax were to pull another goal back, then the heartbeat goes up considerably.
Yeah, he seems, even when he's 3-0 up, it looks really tense, Martin O'Neill, and I'm sure he's inside, he's pretty tense at this moment in time, but we still must remember that they were 3-1 up from the first leg, so 2 goals have to be scored.
That's aggressive play from Agathe, and you feel Celtic need a whole lot more of that. Maxwell against Valgaeren, covering up in behind was Tom Boyd. Laid off by Maxwell for Trabelsi. Yakubu. It's going back the way, but it's still in Ajax possession. Now it's one for Celtic by McNamara, who stayed down after that challenge, won it well, but took a knock. Sutton through the legs for Larsson, and now McNamara can get some running repairs. Substitutes already out warming up. Celtic on the bench have Sylla and Tebily and Petrov, Moravcik and Crainey. Here's how Jackie McNamara was hurt. Won it well there, but I think it was just trodden on.
Yeah, he just lunged forward there, Rob, but I don't think that's serious, and I'm sure he'll be up and ready to play again.
Consultations going on there between Martin O'Neill and Steve Walford and John Robertson, hoping that they're not forced into making a change at this stage. Stilly and Petrov is an obvious option on the bench, and it's great to see him back, having broken his leg in March. And that's some recovery from the Bulgarian international, who's developed into a top player. Larsson's layoff finds Lambert. Sutton's header, it spins towards Grimm and away from his strike partner. Yakubu, van der Vaart. Off and running. There's Valgaeren. He's very quick. He stumbled there and still managed to make up the ground. The left foot of van der Vaart blocked by Lambert, and that's a foul, surely, by Bergdolmo and Larsson.
Yeah, great striker play here again. Larsson ensuring he gets his body between him and the ball and defender, and again nothing else that Bergdolmo can do than foul him.
Ajax were wrestling with Chris Sutton as the ball bounced through towards Henrik Larsson there. Sadly for Celtic, it bounced off Didier Agathe in the wrong direction. It would be nice to see him swinging in some crosses. Top striker Valgaeren strings to go with the skill, and that's a free kick given against Yakubu. He was wrestling Jackie McNamara off the ball.
Yeah, he just tried to lean into McNamara here. Obviously just twisted his leg as he went, but it's a free kick, and Celtic actually have started to get a wee bit of hold of the game, Rob. They're slightly further up the field now. They're keeping possession maybe for 4 or 5 passes now, which is taking the sting out of Ajax, and they still have this real threat from the set pieces into the box, which maybe we'll get this time from Sutton and maybe Larsson.
A goal could make all the difference. In from Guppy. Won't get one that way. Guppy gets another chance. Trabelsi's headed away. Larsson against van der Vaart. The youngster coming out on top. Larsson hasn't given it up yet, though. Free kick going against Henrik Larsson, who is giving it absolutely everything there to win back possession.
Oh, he's desperate to win the ball back here, but all credit to the youngster. He's in control of it at all times here. He's bringing it across his foot. He knows where Larsson is, and eventually he's given the free kick.
Yakubu. Valgaeren the target. Mjallby won it. Kept in by Agathe, and you got the feeling there Paul Lambert had to put his foot on the ball, played it too quickly.
Yeah,
possession given away.
Yeah, been better, Rob, there to keep possession of the ball. Just as we spoke about half time, take the sting out it, keep the ball for 4 or 5 passes. If you have the ball, there's no way the opposition can score, so it's very key to keep it.
Celtic have it back with Sutton, and this time the foul goes against van der Vaart. But some of the top clubs in Europe are watching this teenager, and he is bound for big things, you would say.
Oh, there's no surprise with that at all. I'm led to believe that Ajax were quite shrewd in tying him into a 7-year contract, but tonight,
Jimmy Clean didn't negotiate that, did he?
I think tonight he's probably not been as effective as he was actually when they lost over there. I thought he was outstanding over there, but again tonight he's shown his maturity and he's a real one for the future.
Avalanche, superb hold-up play. Wamberto got his pass away to Yakubu. Celtic again being stretched. Van der Vaart lets that run on for Maxwell, and now he's going round the outside. It took Lennon to win it back against Maklas. Sutton's layoff. Now Mjallby. Lambert. And Ajax, when they're not in possession, doing everything they can to make things difficult for Celtic. Lambert to Lennon. The Celtic support doing all they can to lift their team. But let's not lose sight of the overall scoreline. While Celtic might have been under the cosh for much of this game, still only one goal to show for Ajax's efforts, and Celtic leaning back on that 3-1 victory in Amsterdam. But they can't lean back too far. Wamberto buzzing around the midfield again. That's for Van der Vaart. And that's a disappointing final ball, having sprinted his way into a great situation.
Yeah, it's a great run forward, Rob, and a lovely pass, lovely weighted pass from Wamberto here. We see it, he clips it across. He's made a great run forward. He's got plenty of time here, which is unusual. Leans back, and he'll be disappointed that hasn't gone across the face of the goal. And so the Ajax attackers, I'm sure.
Joined Ajax at the age of 10, did Rafael van der Vaart. So as an 18-year-old, he's already been there for 8 years. Ajax used to do so well, of course, was produce young stars off a conveyor belt. Now a lot of their signings tend to happen overseas.
Yeah, I think that must have been a 15-year contract then, Robert.
Larsson won't catch that. 19 second half minutes gone at Celtic Park. We're watching the big match live on BBC Scotland. Celtic 0, Ajax 1, 3-2 Celtic lead overall. And if you have just joined us, Rangers have failed to qualify for the Champions League. Losers tonight in Istanbul by 2-1 against Fenerbahce. Rangers have to settle for the UEFA Cup. Celtic certainly don't see it that way. Trabelsi chasing. Guppy takes no chances as Ajax contemplate a change, and I think it might be Ibrahimovic, who came on in the first leg, who's about to come on again, and he's a big lad and he poses a whole new set of problems for the Celtic defence, as he did in Amsterdam. We saw a glimpse of that a fortnight ago, and it's Nikos Maklas off, striker off and striker on, and Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, it's a straight swap, but I've been slightly disappointed with Maklas. He's a top player. He was a golden boot holder 2 or 3 years ago, but I think he's just gone slightly off the boil. Ibrahimovic is a top player, he's a young player, he's exciting, great touch for a big lad, and he'll pose them different problems.
Trabelsi did well to force that in. He looked to be crowded out on the byline, but he did well to get this into the danger area.
Oh, he did exceptionally well to get the ball across, and Ibrahimovic obviously doesn't believe he's going to do it because he doesn't make any attempt really to get to the front post.
Chris Sutton with half a dozen Ajax players trying to get to grips with him. Guppy, good first touch, prodded through for Larsson. Guppy almost in again. McNamara, grounded, gets up. Now Guppy, and that's a disappointing ball into the box from Steve Guppy. There's confirmation of the substitution. Zlatan he has on the back of his shirt, that's his first name, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think he'd need shoulder pads to get in the full name on the back of his shirt. He's 19 years old, 3 times capped for Sweden despite that surname, and again one of the top prospects in European football. Celtic don't want to put him in the shop window tonight. Wamberto having a look. Shot blocked by Lennon. It's Ajax in charge. A complete reversal of what happened on their home patch 2 weeks ago when Celtic ran the show. Celtic at this stage giving thanks for that 3-1 advantage from Amsterdam as they struggle to contain Ajax. Great run from Chivu. Foul given against Jackie McNamara. He was beaten all ends up here.
Oh, it's a fabulous run forward again. Centre backing him out with such pace and composure and touch. Eliminates McNamara with ease and has to come across his body to commit the foul.
Quadrians shouting his instructions before this set piece is taken. Big consultation going on. It's within striking distance. Chivu fancies it. Vaart over the ball. Chivu deflected off Lambert and launched to safety by Larsson. Fred Grimm looking a lonely figure down at the other end. Celtic would like to give him a bit more company. Vierklau, Chivu, Yakubu, and Vaart. For once, the ball not sticking to Armeladze's boot. Mjallby doing the defending. The clock is ticking, and we've played nearly 24 minutes of the second half. 1-0 Ajax, 3-2 Celtic on aggregate. Ibrahimovic laid off for Vierklau, and that is not a problem for goalless. These Celtic supporters looking forward to what would be a huge celebration tonight if Celtic can finish off the job. And we have to bear in mind obviously that even if Ajax score again, Celtic would go through. 2-0, not enough for Ajax because of Celtic's goal in Amsterdam. 3-0 and we're on to a whole new ball game. Maxwell breaking forward under pressure, gave the ball away. McNamara, and there's an instance of possession being relinquished far too easily from a Celtic viewpoint. There's an uncertainty about Celtic. The word is Moravcik may be about to be introduced to the action, and that is a statement of intent maybe from Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, it's always a positive sign. He maybe feels that Moravcik can get a hold of the ball, certainly in wider areas. He's very composed. He might pose them more problems in midfield than the three that are there at present, and it will be interesting to see who he takes off. Maybe McNamara, or whether he tries to do something else, but I think it might be McNamara.
Lennon to Mjallby. Agathe not having the joy he had in the first leg. Free kick given against Lennon for a trip on Wamberto, and the free kick was taken too quickly. And now Celtic are ready to bring on number 25, Moravcik. Hasn't played too big a role thus far this season for Celtic, as Ajax make a change as well, and it's Richard Knopper, the midfielder, the 24-year-old who comes on. And Celtic's changes to withdraw Jackie McNamara as predicted. And just listen to the reception for Moravcik. And Martin O'Neill would like to think that the creativity of Moravcik might bring about the goal which settles things for Celtic and which removes any doubts about which of these two are heading into the Champions League draw. Grounded, Chivu, and he's up and looking for some trouble. Henrik Larsson stumbled over him when he was grounded, but I don't think there was any question of malice about that. Quite simply, Henrik didn't know he was lying on the ground behind him. But Chivu up and angry.
Yeah, he's going down, he's going really low with his head, and Larsson's got to try and control the ball, and he's certainly no intent from Larsson whatsoever. It's a brave header from Chivu, but I think Larsson undoubtedly innocent in that action.
I think it was when he stumbled over him, Eric, as Chivu was getting back to his feet. That was what he took exception to.
Yeah, maybe he just clipped him, Rob, as you say, as he was getting back to his feet.
Chivu got a little bit of attention at the touchline. Now he's back on. Bergdolmo. That's off Agathe. It's beginning to feel a little bit like a countdown. 17 minutes of the second half remaining. 17 minutes of this Champions League third round of qualifiers tie to go. Yakubu, Bergdolmo, away by Guppy. That was another instance of the dying swan from Yakubu, but he gets the free kick.
Yeah, I think that was even better than the first half. Very impressive. I would go a 6 with that one, Rob.
Vaart finds Agathe. That's given away by Bergdolmo, straight at Guppy. Lennon. Guppy again, losing possession. And fired out of play by Kharine, who then fires a verbal salvo in the direction of Guppy. The header from Agathe flies well wide. That's Chivu and Lennon. Moravcik's header. Did well to get his body there in front of Knopper, and he gets the free kick, exactly what Henrik Larsson did a few moments ago. Intelligent play, experienced play from Moravcik. Mjallby pushes forward. Larsson. Played to the feet of Agathe. The 1-2 with Lambert. Didier Agathe makes a great run. Cleared by the legs of goalkeeper Grimm. Lambert. Now Moravcik. Two Ajax players trailing behind him, and it's all the way back. Dangerous from Douglas. That came off Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, again, this one here, wonderful run. This is what we want to see from Agathe. He's only done this once or twice this evening. Maybe should have done better with the ball across, had time to lift his head, but that's what you want to see Agathe in the last third, breaking with his power, his pace, and normally with a decent delivery.
Ajax want to make another change, and it's the Egyptian Mido who will come on. The teenager played from the start in the first match, and Coadrian's feeling now he has to take a few chances, and he's taking off defender Bergdolmo and bringing on the winger Mido.
Yeah, they're going for broke now, no doubt about it. Mido's an attacking player, clever player, played very well over there without really threatening, but he's technically good. Only 19, I believe, as well, so it's go for broke now for Ajax.
The age average coming down with the introduction of Ibrahimovic and Mido, both teenagers. And of course Van der Vaart is in that same age group. Very young Ajax side. Flicked on by Guppy. Knopper. Trabelsi. Laid off by Mido. To the other sub, Knopper. Van der Vaart. Avaladze. Good possession play, good passing. Onside Mido. Here's a chance. Saved by Douglas. Celtic looked across hoping to see the flag was up. It stayed down. And a chance for Ajax to make things very interesting.
Well, it's a great run in behind. He's late going up with his hand, Valgaeren. I think he's onside. It's an acute angle. Lovely strike and great credit to Rob Douglas. Here we see it again. He rolls round Boyd, lifts his head, sees the target. Lovely clean strike, and Douglas does very well to stop that one.
Good strong goalkeeping from Rob Douglas, and he's done his reputation no harm whatsoever over the two legs of this tie. Keen to remove any doubts from the minds of Celtic supporters, some of whom wonder if he is the answer to Celtic's goalkeeping problems. But he has come up with some important saves. Sutton's cross. 2 went for it for Ajax. Now Avaladze. Knopper. That went Chris Sutton with a heavy challenge. And no one will be more nervous in these closing 11 minutes or so than the Celtic manager. That's good play from Mido, and unlucky there maybe not to get a free kick against Johan Mjallby. Stepped over it very cleverly. Van der Vaart. Shot at Avaladze. Knopper. It's well defended by Mjallby and played away by Moravcik. Sutton loses out to Trabelsi. Ibrahimovic. Good play again from Avaladze. Taken away by Lambert, and Avaladze claiming that an arm was used when Lambert was on the ground. Ajax are furious, and it's another yellow card. This time Mido, he's been on the field a matter of minutes. He's got a yellow card. I wonder if they have a strong claim here against Paul Lambert.
Yeah, showing real frustration here. This is where it happens here. I think it's a handball. I think there could well have been a handball. Lambert tries to pull his hand away. Very difficult to see in that angle, but
That looked very much as if Paul Lambert's hand was on the ball. And you can understand the fury among the Ajax players that wasn't given. Celtic survive, and they may have had a huge slice of luck there. A yellow card for Mido at the end of it all. Mido closed out this time by Mjallby. Van der Vaart, it's all gone very quiet around Celtic Park. A few jaws at the deck at that point. Avaladze making himself available. Change of pace from Chivu, but he's spun it over the touchline. Celtic throw. And I wonder what's going through the mind at the moment of Paul Lambert.
well, I don't know, Rob. He's certainly the one that will know whether it touched his hand or not. It certainly looked like it from where we were, but
Here's another angle, Eric, on this to make a judgment. There's his hand on the ball. Nothing clearer than that, I don't think.
No, that's a clear handball. Whether it was inside the box or I don't know, but it certainly was a clear handball. But only one.
Didier Agathe. Back for Lambert, man of the moment. Tremendous play again from Agathe. Going it alone. He fancied goal of the season there. Up goes Sutton. Moravcik. Larsson. Wonderful close control from Larsson. Finally prodded away from him by Trabelsi. Ibrahimovic. It's being played like a cup tie at the moment. Wamberto, Mido. It's a corner kick. It's spinning behind. Nothing Mjallby can do about it. It came off Paul Lambert. And Ajax with a set-piece chance now as the clock ticks down. 7.5 minutes left of regulation time. Can Ajax make this count? Mido's header, but it's harmless for Celtic. And that's a cheer as much born of relief around the ground. Larsson. Away from Yakubu. And not quite sure what Henrik Larsson was trying to do there, but looked as if he was going to try and keep the ball at the corner flag and then played it into the hands of Grimm. That's spinning away from Ibrahimovic. I think we should, having seen two versions of that penalty claim incident, Eric, that looked as if yes, it was on ball, and yes, it was outside the box. It was on the line or possibly fractionally outside.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was outside or on the line, but it was definitely a clear handball. And it's a bit of luck that you need in European football. It might just be the thing that ends this game in Celtic's favour.
Time for another drink, Martin. And he will be just willing that clock to go round, and Ajax at the same time will be looking towards it and thinking, right, that's just over 6 minutes left and we need 2 goals. Sutton. That's tremendous play from Sutton in the last 5 minutes of the match. Coadriance wondering if it's to be the UEFA Cup for Ajax or whether there's yet more drama to come here. Boyd left it late against Ibrahimovic, and thankful that the ball cannoned back off the big Swede and into goalkeeper Rob Douglas's arms. That's for Henrik Larsson! Still has it. He's stuck those ones away before, hasn't he? It was a beautiful delivery in from Moravcik there, and it was just asking for the killer touch at the far post.
Wonderful a ball to the face of the goal, and Larsson's normally there. A great run from Larsson to get himself in that position. Here we see it again. Moravcik lifts his head, he knows where Larsson is. Good way to pass, beats the last defender, and he's just hit it into the ground and mishit it. So unfortunate for Celtic, but the clock now running away from Ajax, and Celtic now looking more and more comfortable.
I don't think I've ever heard a corner kick get quite so much of a reception, but there's the sort of scenes we don't want to witness, and the police having to go in among Ajax supporters and try to weed out the problems. On a happier note, the Celtic fans paying their tribute to Moravcik. His cross, but it's swerving well wide of target. The seconds ticking away. We're inside the last 4 minutes, and this was the delivery from Moravcik, which, well, how many times out of 10 might Henrik Larsson have put this away?
Oh, 9 I would imagine, but it's a wonderful ball across the face of the goal. Goalkeeper can do nothing about it, and Larsson unfortunately doesn't conclude.
Larsson doing good work in holding up the ball, and Moravcik was knocked over by Knopper. Free kick. Sutton does well, and he was tripped by Chivu. Free kick for Celtic. It's a deafening noise inside Celtic Park. You can barely hear yourself think. Mjallby has gone up for the set piece, but the ball is anchored at the corner flag. Vaart in a hurry. He has to be. Valgaeren. Lennon. Lambert. Agathe. That's off Vaart. Corner kick, and Celtic happy to keep the ball up at this end. It's another corner kick. Less than 2 minutes left. 2 minutes between Celtic and the Champions League. Moravcik's cross, in went Mjallby. Now Sutton. Wasn't quite sure where Henrik Larsson was. Mido's pass, useful for Wamberto. His cross took a deflection. Good defending from Lambert. Now Larsson. Tying up 2 Ajax defenders. Vaart, and helped on its way by Lennon. And it looks as if Celtic have negotiated that rocky patch, and there seems at this stage now no way that they won't make it.
No, there's relief all around in the Celtic supporters. They now know that they're in the Champions League. What you can't, Celtic may not have played the best football on the evening, but they've certainly worked extremely hard, and they deserve their victory over the 2 legs.
That's good play from first Moravcik, then Sutton, now Larsson, and Moravcik is given offside. He hoped that he'd delayed the run sufficiently, that he would have sprung the offside trap, but up went the flag.
Yeah, Larsson's got to play the ball just slightly earlier. Lubo maybe could have checked his run, but the game now dying out.
And that's a very calm and composed header from Steve Guppy, which takes the sting out of the Ajax attack. And the clock now tells us we've played 90 minutes at Celtic Park. Into stoppage time, 3 minutes to be added. So now we know it's 3 minutes between Celtic and a place at the top table of European football. Ibrahimovic, neat control, back goes Lennon, now Guppy, and played away, and finds Paul Lambert, who's given it straight to Mido. Ibrahimovic with a free header, Valgaeren misjudged it, and it was knocked away by Lennon. Still some worrying to do. Vaart, Yakubu, Chivu. Good challenge from Tom Boyd. Now Didier Agathe, he's got the pace to go all the way. Skips away from Vaart's challenge. Can Yakubu stop him? Yes, he can. Did well. "75 seconds of time added on. High tension, but there's a big prize awaiting in it.
Yeah, 8 to 10 million I think initially, and probably more to follow, and it's a wonderful night for the Celtic fans. The Champions League now awaits, wonderful fixtures, wonderful opposition in store, and I think it's deserved over the two legs. May not have performed particularly well tonight, but as we said before, they've worked exceptionally hard for the result.
Celtic have the ball away in the opposite direction from where Robert Douglas is, and that's how they want to keep it for these closing seconds. And all around Celtic Park, supporters on their feet with scarves held high. It's a wonderful scene all around, and just wait for the noise that greets the final whistle. And almost everyone inside the ground will take that final whistle anytime Stefano Braschi fancies. Moravcik on the left foot for Guppy. First time ball in, Larsson! Another tempting opportunity for Larsson, and another good delivery, this time Guppy.
Yeah, good delivery again, from first time delivery from Guppy. Just going away from Larsson, but he's in the box again, he's looking for opportunities, and that time just goes wide.
We've played now 3 minutes of time added on. Celtic are in the Champions League. A night of nerves and tension, and a night when Ajax had the upper hand. But this tie was always going to be settled over two legs, and Celtic's supremacy in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago is the big counter. That 3-1 advantage proved to be enough, and despite the transformed performance from Ajax, it's Celtic who step forward.
Yeah, wonderful performance really from Celtic over both legs. Maybe not tonight, but I think it just shows you just how good a result that was in Amsterdam, and what an amazing result it was to come away from Amsterdam with a 3-1, and they certainly needed it on the night, because Ajax are a top outfit, no doubt about it, and I think in a couple of years to come they'll be even stronger.
The Celtic supporters, 60,000 of them on their feet, greeting Celtic's arrival in the Champions League, and they'll take their place tomorrow in the draw in Monaco alongside the biggest names in the game. That's where Celtic feel they belong. That's where Celtic reckon they should be. It's been a tough fight tonight. It's been a question of gutsing it out through a sometimes difficult second half, but all the effort has been worthwhile. And as Eric said, it's when you see the way Ajax performed tonight that you realise the level of Celtic's performance in the Amsterdam arena 2 weeks ago in beating Ajax, the 4 times European Cup winners, of course, by 3 goals to 1. So it's disappointment on Ajax faces as they troop towards the away dressing room, and it's faces eager with anticipation among the Celtic players and supporters and everyone associated with the club, because having reached the Champions League, who knows what comes next?
No, absolutely, and it's a step forward. So Celtic, the supporters have been waiting for this for several years. They've now achieved it. Martin O'Neill must take an awful lot of credit for what he's achieved, but it's the players out there who have done everyone proud, I think, especially in Amsterdam, as you said. But tonight they worked extremely hard, Robin. They wanted that, and they've been deservedly taken into the next round.
The Celtic supporters reluctant to leave the stadium, because this has been a moment they've waited a long time for. Celtic's first ever appearance in the Champions League. There have been lots of difficult moments for Celtic in Europe in recent seasons. You think back to disappointments like Bordeaux and Lyon, and Croatia's Zagreb and Zurich, and that's only in recent seasons. Seasons of underachievement, but now Celtic back in the big time, back among the top names in European football, through to the Champions League. 1-0 Ajax tonight, but Celtic winners overall by 3 goals to 2.
Martin, a tough 90 minutes, but the most important thing is you're through.
We're through, yes. We were apprehensive, and it's one of those leads that you're not sure how to play. But it might tell you something. Ajax played brilliantly tonight, without a doubt, and perhaps maybe we might get some credit for our performance out in Ajax. I thought we were excellent out there. It's over the 2 legs, and we've done enough in the 2 legs to go through, and that's what European football's all about.
How nervous were you, though, in those closing minutes?
Well, we were naturally concerned because there was just a lack of energy tonight, and that was and nothing wrong with that. There was still, the commitment was there, but we were in the back foot, and Ajax played very, very well indeed. They are very, very good players, without a doubt, and it's a great learning curve for us. But we're through, and over the 2 legs we deserve to go through because we were scintillating in Amsterdam.
You have put out a very good side.
There's there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. They showed what they can do tonight. They've got some very, very talented players. I've been saying that there for 2 weeks, or for as long as I've seen them play. And any side that beat Liverpool and won a tournament, included AC Milan, are absolutely no mugs. So it's a learning curve for us tonight. Delighted we're through, and that was the main thing. One hand for the crowd. When the crowd initially thought they came here and that we were, they were going to win the game convincingly, that type of stuff. But when they sensed the danger, the crowd were right with us, and I thought that they were immense tonight, and they helped us through enormously.
Can you allow yourself to think of what's next now? Get excited about it?
Yeah, I never for 1 minute thought that this tie was over. I think that was proved, and now tonight I'm delighted. We're in the hat now for a Champions League, and in terms of our development, for want of a better word, in the 13 months here, it's been phenomenal. The effort of the players is just exceptional. Tonight we were in the back foot, I keep saying that, and Ajax played very, very well indeed. But over the 2 ties we deserve to go through.
And this is fabulous for the club, the fans, for everyone associated.
I think
with
that's
Celtic.
right. In terms of financial gain for the football club, terrific. But in terms of the fans and the players and ourselves, we're going to try and enjoy the Champions League, and that'll be a massive learning curve as well too. But even so, we're there. We're going to be playing 6 games in it regardless, and we're going to have a bit of fun.
Thank you, Martin. Well
Thank
done
you.
over the 2 legs.
Thank you very much.
It's not Alison Walker, our voice has gone down a couple of octaves. It's Rob Dookie. Paul, how difficult the 90 minutes was that?
Oh, really hard, but I said after the first leg I think they're going to be more dangerous here, and that's what proved to be. They were very good, but we were just fortunate enough we got the goals in the first leg.
What it does is put in perspective Celtic's performance of 2 weeks ago, surely.
I mean, people were knocking Ajax, but we knew they were a really good side, which they proved. But I think in the first leg I thought they were really, really good, and tonight we didn't know how to approach it, where you go and chase them or do you sit off them, and so you're really up against it. But no credit to everybody, we've done the job over the 2 legs.
Was that the big problem for Celtic tonight, knowing quite how to pitch it when you're 3-1 ahead, whether you try and hold what you've got or go for more?
Yeah, definitely, because as I said, after the first leg it was always going to be a dangerous game because we had that wee bit of light between us, but you just don't know how they're going to come. They've got nothing to lose, and they're very talented football players, but as I said, over the 2 legs I think we deserve to go through.
Wamberto was a talented footballer. He was a struggle to cope with, wasn't he?
He was fantastic, and I never knew the guy, but he was very, very clever, and you've got to give him all the respect and everything he's done. He had a fantastic game, but from our point of view the most important thing is we go through.
Ajax were shouting about a penalty when you were grounded right at the edge of the penalty box.
Yeah.
How did you see that one?
I just tackled, and I knew my hand had hit the ball, but it wasn't intentional or anything. I just the way I fell. But sometimes you get away with them, sometimes you don't. And fortunate for us, he never gave it.
Eric said at the time in commentary that he's only got one hand on the ball, so that's probably okay.
I thought the referee was really good as well. But you get decisions, Rob, and sometimes you take them, sometimes you get to go against you. But that's football.
And how exciting is it to be in that Champions League draw tomorrow?
Oh, it's fantastic for the club and everybody connected with the team. It'll be a great adventure, put it that way, and hopefully they'll get a good experience for everybody, and we'll give it our best.
Well done tonight, well done on getting through. Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, thanks. Cheers.